What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Friday. Let's jump into everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles in the National Football League, starting with what we've all been waiting for. How about AndreSwift practice footage? Yes, you finally get to see him, along with Boston Scott. They're working on their spin moves. Boy, he looks good in that Agent Zero. AndreSwift, he's got to be having a big season. I really feel confident in him. Rashad Penny can be healthy. The rest of these running backs, the practice footage we've been waiting for in terms of the running back group, you get Agent Zero there. Thumbs up for AndreSwift. Thumbs up for him being in Philadelphia. They also gave us a DB practice footage and really our first look at Sidney Brown working out there. Obviously, Darius Slay with the back pedal, spin, catch the football, and then you see a couple of other guys line up. They show you Kayvon Wallace. They show you a couple of the other safeties. There's a lot of guys here. Greedy Williams showing back there as well. A lot of the safeties getting work in. How about Reed Blankenship, too? Is it his year? What if Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship are both starters for Philadelphia this year? That'd be pretty crazy. Undrafted and then a rookie. And the guy, Blankenship's only in his second year. Absolutely fantastic opportunities there for these young guys. Love seeing the practice footage from OTAs. In fact, they're all there as well. Not overlooked, because some teams, some guys don't want to be there. You know, they want to work out with their own people. Cough, cough, Micah Parsons. But what are you going to do? Okay, big story of the day yesterday. Not a lot of people are talking about. Lane Johnson on his Twitter account posted this, where he said, officially cleared. You can't forget that Lane Johnson played the entire postseason, or almost the entire last quarter of the season with a groin injury when he had that torn abductor, which should have basically ended his year. However, he stayed in, he played through it, it didn't re-aggravate itself, then a quick little surgery after the end of the Super Bowl, and then a couple of months off, and he is 100% cleared for all football activities. You forget, Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack since Week 11 of the 2020 campaign, and he's given up 20 total since his rookie season back in 2013. So obviously the best right tackle in the National Football League, 100% healthy and ready to go, is very good news for Philadelphia. My question with Lane Johnson is simple. How many more years is he going to give us? Because he's signed for the next 3. So if he gives it the next 3, Philadelphia's going to be in really, really good hands, especially on that right side when he anchors down and doesn't let anybody get to him or really get to the quarterback. But if it's only 2 or if it's 1, look for Philadelphia maybe to go ahead and look at tackle earlier in the NFL draft. I know they got Tyler Steen, but he's trying to more play guard right now. But tackle in the draft, maybe in the first or second round of the next 2 NFL drafts. Okay, moving over here to something I thought very interesting from the Eagles OTAs over the past couple of days here. Dallas Goedert, he spoke to this yesterday, but he's actually been working out with the wide receivers. Now, he's not switching positions. He's going to stay tight end, but you see Josh Tolentino here on Twitter saying, quote, Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert said he's been spending extra time after mini camp practices working with wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Greg Ward, with an emphasis on fine-tuning the intricacies of their route running, end quote. Now, again, does Dallas Goedert need to work on his route running? Well, right now you'd say no, because he's one of the best route running tight ends in the National Football League, one of the best pass receiving tight ends in the National Football League. But the fact he's trying to improve kind of goes off of what we talked about yesterday. A.J. Brown mentioned it. Jason Kelce mentioned it. Goddard, James Bradbury, they're all speaking to the media, and they're all being asked about, how do you guys, find the Super Bowl actually, successful this year or win it? They're talking about getting better. They want to win. They want to go ahead and gel as a group and get better at just the little things. Dallas Goedert's a Pro Bowl tight end. Jalen Hurts is an all-pro quarterback, almost won a Super Bowl. A.J. Brown's one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and yet they feel like they can get better, and I find that very, very fantastic and reassuring as an Eagles fan, knowing that they're going to be giving it their all this offseason. If this team is 1% better than the 2022 team, then that means they're probably going to win the Super Bowl, because it took that 1 little percent at the end where they fell off against the Chiefs, or else they would have had a near complete dominating postseason situation, especially from an offensive perspective. I'm a big fan of Dallas Goedert. You think he's going to be more featured in the offense this year? Kind of came on a little bit later in the season. Not that he wasn't featured, but I feel like they could use him a little bit more early. Let me know what you guys think down below right now in the comments section. I saw this article that basically came out, I believe it was from the 33rd-team.com, and essentially what it is Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator, former Super Bowl champ with the Rams, greatest show on turf. He was asked to rank the top offenses in the National Football League, and I was like, Mike's going to definitely put the Eagles pretty high, right? Mike put him 4th. Look at this tweet here from Eagles Nation. Quote, former Super Bowl champion Rams, greatest show on turf, offensive coordinator Mike Martz ranks the Eagles offense 4th best behind San Francisco, KC, and Detroit. He says they're a system team on offense, and that's okay. They're a bit like Bill Walsh's 49ers team. They do what they want Ed to do every week, and they do it extremely well. Nate, what goes on to kind of rave about him? Like he says, Jalen Hurts is fantastic. The receivers are fantastic. He didn't have anything negative to say about them. He just put them 4th behind San Francisco, KC, and Detroit. San Francisco doesn't have a quarterback at the moment. Like, what is Mike Martz watching here? And they have some good players. They have elite players everywhere. I mean, maybe you make the case they have a considerable offensive system with Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, but they don't have a quarterback. I mean, geez, Jalen Hurts, hello? Mike, you watch the National Football League? Crazy. I get KC, but it's more because of Patrick Mahomes and not because of the weapons that were around. And remember, the Greatest Show on Turf had serious weapons at running back. They had serious weapons at wide receiver. Kansas City doesn't have either of those things. They just have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Not saying they're not supposed to be high, but still. And Detroit, his only reasoning for Detroit was that Jahmyr Gibbs is now in that offense, which, well, listen, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. You wanted Jahmyr Gibbs in the draft. We all did. I think he's really good. Does he set the Rams offense the Detroit Lions offense over the top, make them better than Philadelphia? Jalen Hurts versus Jared Goff, anybody? I know Goff was good last year. Detroit's going to be good, but better overall than the situation in Philadelphia? I don't know. Where do you guys rank the Eagles offense? I think it's number 1 in the National Football League. It's at least top 2, not top 4. I mean, it's ridiculous that the 49ers are that high when we keep hearing these reports that Sam Bradford is the best quarterback at camp right now, and they don't even like Trey Lance, and oh my goodness, Brock Purdy can't throw yet. It's, the 49er love is very interesting to me. And it's not just because I don't like them. I just feel like they're a little bit overrated based on the fact that their defense has been good the past couple of years. The offense is still really good, but if they had a quarterback, it'd be way, way better. Give me your thoughts on that in the comments section. I want to finish up with this Nakobe Dean quote. He was on Good Morning Football yesterday, and he was basically asked about Philadelphia being the hunted. Remember, they're NFC champ. A lot of teams are going to be wanting to give their best shot to Philadelphia to try to beat them. There are teams that are really upset at Philadelphia, like the 49ers. Think back to the Vikings and Saints always hating on the Eagles, obviously the Dallas Cowboys. And yet Dean had a really good response about the mentality of the Eagles, not just being the hunted, but actually being the hunters. Let's read it. Quote, "We've got a lot of underdogs on this team. A lot of people who play with a lot of chips on their shoulders, so we'll never sit back and act like we're the ones with the target on our backs. We don't look at that like we've got the target on our backs. We look at it like we're the ones out there hunting." End quote. And he's right about this. And Howie's done a very interesting job in establishing this roster because it has elite players everywhere, and so you would think they would be hunted, but all these elite players came from somewhere where they have a chip on their shoulder. I mean, you can go up and down this roster, starting with Jalen Hurts. You go AndreSwift and Rashad Penny. You can go Jason Kelce. I mean, you can go to the receivers on the outside. You talk about the defense, especially. Think about these young guys on defense who have chips on their shoulders. Jalen Carter has a chip on his shoulder. Nolan Smith didn't have a lot of production at Georgia, and people said he wasn't worthy of being a top 10 or even a first-round draft pick. Reed Blankenship was undrafted. Sidney Brown is a third-round safety trying to start day 1. James Bradbury and Darius Slay both got ripped up and down after having a great season last year, but they struggled in the Super Bowl, according to some people. It's very funny to watch people be like, oh, you're going to be the hunted because you're really good last year, and yet there are a lot of dogs on this team, no pun intended for the Georgia Bulldogs, but guys like Dean, who fell out of the first round and the second round just based off a rumor that he was injured when he clearly never was. I mean, this guy could have been a first-round talent, and yet he falls to the third round. I think Dean is right here. I think the Eagles are very, very heavy underdogs in terms of their mentality, and they can gear that into hopefully being a lot more successful this season. That's the overall hope as we finish up today. The overall hope for the Eagles is that there is no Super Bowl hangover because they're not content with what they did last year. What they did last year was great. A lot of teams would have last year, barely lose a Super Bowl and be like, man, we did it. We got there. Like, I think some of these teams have never been, the Detroit Lions, they had the Eagles season last year to be like, man, we feel good. The Eagles said, listen, we did good, but we didn't complete our goal. We didn't win that Super Bowl. We want to win it this year. We'll do the 1% more to make us 1% better and hopefully get that final Lombardi trophy and number 2 for the Philadelphia Eagles at the end of 2024. Okay, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. If you enjoy the show, go and hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell as well. That way you're notified. A lot of subscribers don't have the bell, and a lot of subscribers miss out on the show. So if you guys want to hit that, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm Thomas Mott, though. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.